All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to the Akim pushing this truth in sincerity, bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. This lesson will be entitled, "This is why we call you the devil." Okay, and the reason why we call the white man the devil is because he acts like a damn devil. Okay, he acts like if he was Satan in carnal form, in a fleshly form. We don't have to go too far. Look at what the white man did to the so-called Negro, the Hispanic, and the Native American in slavery. If you had melanin, you were a slave. Okay, that is American history. That is truth. America was built, okay, on the backs of slave labor. Okay, so we know what you devils have done. Okay, and the cat's out the bag. Okay, we know that your biblical name is Esau. Okay, we know that we are the Hebrew Israelites. We are the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the confusion of faces, because we were scattered across the earth. Okay, we are God's chosen people, and those people that are scattered across the earth that can receive this truth, they are confusion of faces. They are Israelites. Okay, so we don't go off skin color, we go off the spirit. Okay, and in the end, the Lord is going to separate, his sheep from the goats, from those who are not, okay, Israel. So I found this article, Lord willing, it's edifying, okay, because, we are calling you out your name, man, of what you are and what you've done. This is 8 most horrific and inhuman black slaves' punishment in the history of slavery. I'm going to start with shackling. This is what punishments you inflicted on the on a so-called black man, okay, in slavery. And yes, Hispanics, and natives were also part of that. Receive these punishments, shackling. I might not read the whole article. I might do it in 2 sections because it's quite long. It says the use of shackles and handcuffs in slave markets had always been one of the most shocking aspects of slavery throughout history. Slave shackles were common items used as early as the 15th century to chain slaves, either on the wrists, ankles, or neck. This particular artifact was created, according to records, between 1780 to 1804 and made of wrought iron. This artifact was used to shackle a slave's wrist depending on the situation, their ankles on the occasion of a slave being transported. The use of shackles to enslave Africans was prevalent and in use until the 1860s. In slave ships, the slaves were harshly boarded onto ships and packed into tight spaces, one on top of another, and restrained by shackles, unable to move or breathe. Made of heavy iron, these shackles were not only used as a means to keep slaves grounded, but it was also a way to humiliate defiant slaves who tried to escape. Such use of restraints served as an effective way for plantation owners to physically and psychologically control their slaves. These restraints used on slaves were similar to those used on prisoners at the time, giving the implication that slaves were nothing better than criminals. All right. So these are just some of the your little devices, man. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Y'all some devils, man. Y'all are satanic, man. Y'all ain't godly people, man. Branding. Branding irons were sometimes used to mark all captives routinely during slave trade for identification purposes or as a punishment, but more often, they were used to single out runaway slaves to ensure the return if they should escape again. The body part to be branded varied in location, such as the palm, back, shoulder, buttocks, or abdomen, with the face being a favorite site for punishment and is determined by the slave master. You see, the favorite place to brand somebody was on their face, man. And it was determined on the way you devils felt, man. All right. Devils, man. Brutal whipping. The main method used to control the behavior of slaves was a threat of having them whipped. The whippings and beatings were usually so horrific and as bad as you could ever imagine. The number of lashes, which were always many, depended on the seriousness of the offense. Slaves were whipped daily. It must not necessarily be when they have committed a serious offense. Rather, beatings, whippings, and other torture acts were a form of mind and body control, a way to reassert the dominance of their masters and also demoralize the slaves, keeping them bent on their labor. No condition makes an exception for any slave. The young, old, male, female, including pregnant women, were lashed whenever the occasion calls for such. In the case of pregnancy, a hole might be dug for the pregnant woman to rest her belly while being whipped. Wow. Whipping grew so common during slavery that it became a business, whereby there are hard-hearted commercial and professional whippers to whom offending slaves were sent to receive as many strokes as instructed by their holders. Rubbing pepper, salt, or other hard substances on wounds. As a mode of punishment, a slave is whipped with such inhumane severity as to lacerate and mangle his or her flesh in the most shocking manner, leaving permanent scars and ridges. Then hurting substances such as salt, pickle, lime juice, hot brine, turpentine, or bird pepper would be rubbed into his or her open wounds. Sometimes the slave is bound hand and foot so as to enjoy the pains to the fullest and also not be able to relieve him or herself in any way. 4. Torture instruments. The torture instruments come in different forms and severity. They are used to punish slaves by subjecting them to very uncomfortable and brutal positions. Some of them are worn, whereas some are constructed and the slave confined to a particular killer fixed position by the instrument. When worn, the slave is forced to continue his daily task with the discomforting instrument and is also expected to work at same speed and productivity level as when free. Damn. Devils. He may also be given a task to accomplish which they know would be very difficult to go about with torture instrument intact. You see? They were given a task to accomplish which they know will be very difficult to go about with the torture instrument intact. So they would give them these torture instruments and they knew they would give them tasks that would make them hard to accomplish it, so they just keep them in trouble, man. Sexual assault. A certain group of enslaved women were called Jezebels by their owners. These women were alleged to be more promiscuous than their counterparts and were often subjected to sexual abuse several times throughout the day. While white women forced these Jezebels to have sex with them, white men, Salakia, they claimed that it was the enslaved woman's fault for being so loose. Although female slaves are the ones that suffer this most, sometimes males are also subject to sexual abuse by promiscuous mistresses or forced to have sex with fellow slaves to produce children who will work for their masters. Slaves are raped without having anyone to report to. Instead, the white slave owners expect them to be grateful for having sex with them, proudly saying that they are doing them a favor. On several occasions, they may be impregnated, and this will in no way exempt them from their normal daily routines and punishment as slaves. Neither will their masters take ownership or responsibility of the child when born. Instead, the children only increase the number of slaves and hands to work in the field, which is to the advantage of the slave masters. Also, the mistresses transfer their anger and aggression for their husband's infidelity to the abused slave woman by beating and maltreating them. So a woman used to get beat by the wife of the slave master. Some of them are forced into marriages without being elevated to the normal position of a wife. Rather, in order for her husband to avoid witnessing when they are punished or tortured for one offense or another, he'll send her to distant plantation where she'll continue her slavery practice. Wow. Mutilation, amputation, genital torture, castration. Slave punishment goes as extreme as cutting off or rendering useless. Slave punishment goes as extreme as cutting off or rendering useless some body parts of the slave, such as the limbs, fingers, palm, ears, genitals, etc. That of genital torture and castration were often used as punishment and deterrent for sexual offenses, but the grueling cruelty in this is that most of the time the slaves were wrongly accused. Also, castration is one done in the most beastly manner, using gelding knives or local burdizo. with no medical care given whatsoever. On the part of the women, they may be subjected to severe torture that at the end renders their genitals completely damaged. That's cruel, man. Most of the victims of this form of torture hardly survive as a result of the severity. I deem this act of punishment one of the most dismal and heartbreaking. Below the photo is a gelding knife in the merciless hand of a white master. Wow. They would use that. Castration, when they would cut off a man's private part, they would use this type of knife. This is a gelding knife. Wow. Cruel executions, lynching, burning. Most executions are done by hanging. If they want to make it more grisly, they may hang the person alive with a hook dug into one of his lungs. They may also decide to hang the slave upside down. Moreover, in what the slave masters call very serious offenses, which they feel has exceeded all other forms of punishments, and the slave must need to be gotten rid of the most bizarre way, they burn the slave alive. In serious offenses, they would burn the slave alive, usually bound on a stake. This is the cruelest way anybody can think of dying. You see? This is why we call you the devil, man. This is what you did to the slaves, to the Negroes, man. Namely, in slavery. This is the way you treat the people of the Lord, man. You're not a godly people, man. You are the devil that the Bible speaks about, man. All right? This is just 8 punishments that they inflicted on the people of the Lord. Let me get 1 John 3. And this the children of the Most High are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. Okay, so it can be known who is the children of the Lord, man, by actions, man. All right, the scriptures say you shall know them by their fruit. So if you're gonna know the righteous elect by their fruit, how are you gonna know the wicked? Okay, you're going to know them by their actions, by their fruit, by their deeds. All right, and this the children of the Most High manifest, and the children of the devil. Let's look up that word devil. Diablos.
Strong's G1228. Diabolos. Diabolos.
Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. And that's what devils would do, man. They would accuse Jake falsely, man. They accuse the Israelites falsely, man. Even in slavery and even today. False accuser, slander, metaphor applied to a man who by opposing the cause of the Most High may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. All right. This is why we call you the devil. Because you oppose the ways of the Lord. You oppose the ways of the scriptures, man. All right. And you try to twist the Bible and gave it a Christian twist and painted your face as the Messiah, the Son of the Most High. You oppose the Lord by doing these things. You are a slanderer. You're a deceiver. You are a devil. And you act the part of a devil and you side with him. You do what the devil would do. Okay? You are the children of the devil, man. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. Okay? Jacob and Esau. This goes back to Genesis. We are the children of Jacob, whose name turned to Israel. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the sons of the Most High. Okay? We are the hopeful elect. And this is why we call you the devil. You are our brother. You are Esau. You are the Edomites that the Bible speaks about. You are the nation that is not promised no mercy at the second coming of the Lord. Neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one. Okay? And we know Cain, it really, this goes back to even before Jacob and Esau, to Cain, when Cain killed his brother Abel, man. Okay? You come in that same spirit. That's why we know that you are a descendant of Cain, of that wicked one. Okay. And Cain was given leprosy, which is white skin. Okay. As opposed to what, you Mormons teach, that Cain was the so-called Negroes. No, the mark that was put up on Cain was leprosy, man. Okay. That's how you distinguish the normal from the bizarre, from him who is totally marked for others to see. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one and slew his brother, right? Cain was of the devil. He didn't love his brother. He didn't do no righteousness. It's manifested that he is a child of the devil, of the wicked one, of Satan. His father is Satan, man. All right. He does the bidding of Satan. Okay. He opposes the Most High and does what Satan would do in flesh. All right. In the skin, in the body, he will do what Satan would do. And wherefore slew he him, because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Right. If you don't love your brother, you're just as bad as a damn devil, man, as these Edomites, because the Lord said from the beginning that we should love one another. This was the message that we heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Okay, so we have passed from death, from the ways of this world. This world is full of hate and wickedness, into life. All right, well, we love one another. Okay, whosoever hated his brother is a murderer. Okay, and that's what you Edomites do, man. You hate your brothers and you are murderers, and you know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. Right, so there's not going to be no resurrection to life, man. Okay. Hereby we perceive we the love of the Most High, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. Okay, we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. This is the example that Yahawashi, okay, set forth. That's how much love he had. That's how down he was, for lack of words, for his people. Okay, the elect of his people, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers, man. Okay, real love, true, genuine, looking out even unto the death. But whoso hath this world's good, okay, and you devils have this world's good, okay, you are the epitome of the wicked. You know, Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. But whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need, okay, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? So how dwelleth the love of the Most High in you devils, man? Okay, on you Edomites. Look at what you've done. 8 most horrific and inhumane punishments, man, in slavery. Roughly paraphrasing this article, the title of this article. This is what horrific, inhuman punishments, man. But whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion, man. Okay? You shut up your bowels of compassion, man.
Strong's G 575. Apa.
Yeah, let's see if I can look up that word bowels. Salakia. Look up a word real quick. If I can, if not, I'm going to continue. Yeah, I'm just going to continue. But whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need, okay? You don't think these men who you had in slavery and did this inhuman punishments on, that they didn't have need, all right? But no, you shut up your bowels of compassion from them, all right? From us, from Israel. How dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? How dwelleth the love of the Most High in a man like that, man? It don't. There is no love in this man. All right. So that's why we don't look for the white man to help us, man. Because we know what he's done. We're not ignorant, man. This is Ezekiel 35:11. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of the hatred against them. Really, you have envy and hatred, okay, to your brother Jacob, okay, whose name turned to Israel. Israel had 12 sons, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Hebrew Israelites. You are Esau. You are Mount Seir. And this is what's going to happen. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I'll even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of the hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Okay? So the Lord's going to judge you for what you did out of envy and out of your anger. The Lord's going to do it even according to what you did. The Lord's going to do it. But the scriptures say even double. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Because that's what you think, man. You think that the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans were put in your hands so that you can destroy them. Okay, you can devour them. That's not true, man. That's blasphemy. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. Okay, the earth is going to rejoice, man, when you damn devils get judged, man. When you get put into slavery, okay? When you get captured, finally, you goddamn vagabonds, you fugitives. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea. All right, Mount Seir is what? Where Esau, Edom dwelt, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahawah. Let's look up that word desolate real quick. This is what's going to happen. This is the judgment for what you did unto the house of Israel. All right, so this is why we call you the devil, man. Devastation, waste, desolation. All right, you're going to be totally devastated, man. Okay, annihilated, wasted.
Strong's H 8077. Shemama. Shemama.
You're going to be white.
And second entry, Shemama. Shemama.
You're going to be white boy wasted, man. All right. Brak the Yahawah, Brak the Yahawashi, Brak the Yahawah, Brak the Yahawashi, Brak the Yahawah, Brak the Yahawashi. This is why we call you the devil.